this is. Maybe it's just showing. Oh, maybe that's not the one. Maybe it's showing the old one. It's showing the old one. Is it something that we're moving? We just stopped. I don't know which one it
Because it started a new one.
is. Okay.
All right, I guess this is part 2. We'll try this part 2.
All right, guys. I'm sorry about that, but this
Ain't nobody mad but the devil.
it's the devil. The devil do not want this truth coming out. It's not. But hey, we're gonna keep on going. Guess what? Woe to what's this thing about? Woe to those who are offended.
YouTube's offended.
I can be offended by YouTube. I can shut it down. Forget this. I'm done. I'm done. Damn it! I was in the row. I'm shutting it down. No, I'm gonna keep on going.
Okay.
You think how you think I got to the quarterback? I got to the quarterback is I just kept on pressing, and eventually quarterback shows up. And that's how you get one sack after another sack after another sack. You just keep building upon another. So anyway, I'm gonna give people some time to get on here, but guys, please stick with me. We're closing down, and I'm gonna I stopped reading when it was buffering. We stopped.
Yeah, we
so
stopped reading, yeah.
so you didn't miss anything. We were sitting here just cussing the devil out.
You guys didn't miss
You
anything.
didn't- you guys didn't miss anything,
stopped the
so-
journals, we stopped. So we'll I might go back one verse just two.
Okay.
I'll go back to verse 27.
That was heavy for them. That was too
You okay with
heavy
that?
for them, my brother. I know. You know, this is YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised YouTube listen to this. Say, okay, we gotta shut this thing down. We gotta cut it off. It's all good.
There's trigger words, right?
The faithful ones.
Wicked ass
Is
woman
it buff or no? But the faithful ones won't be here. Thank you guys. I mean, if you guys can hear, just kind of give us. Okay, you guys are giving us numbers here, so it seems like you guys can hear. Give us an 8.
Yeah, people are back. Yeah.
Okay.
They're coming in. Yep.
Okay. Tell me when you start reading when you feel.
Okay. Yeah. We can
Remember,
go
this is
back.
going to be recorded too, so people
Yeah.
can always go back.
All right, so I'm going to start back up on
Verse
so
26.
remember, guys, we're in Jasher chapter 21, and I'm going to start go back to verse 27,
Okay.
and I'm going to go from there. So,
All
and
right.
Ishmael's wife answered and said to Abraham, "We have neither water nor bread." And she continued sitting in the tent and did not notice Abraham, neither did she ask who he was. But she was beating her children in the tent, and she was cursing them. And she also cursed her husband Ishmael and reproached him. And Abraham heard the words of Ishmael's wife to her children. And he was very angry and displeased.
So he reproached her. So she shamed her husband, shamed the father in front of his seed. This is I know in this world it's normal. You can watch the movies, you can watch commercials. Everywhere you're seeing the image of Yah just being shamed, reproach. They're making men are now doofus. The women are the one that knows everything. Mom knows best. Father's the doofus in the family. You got your Al Bundy, and I'm going back. You got your Bart Simpsons. You know, you got all these. You got I don't even know all the shows they have now. It's all over. Where now boys, young lads are growing up seeing that men are not to be respected.
They got this whole movement now called toxic masculinity.
Yeah, now, do you know that's bad now? Being a man is considered bad. They call it toxic. What did they say? They said we're going to be in the time in the last days. Good is evil and evil is good. Mm-hmm. We are being a man is bad. It is literally wicked to be a man. To have balls. That's what they have these courthouses for now. They literally are castrating men because it's illegal to have balls. I love how brother Michael he says let thou be loose and start let the ball start swinging. Let it hang. So anyway, I'm taking from everybody's there, but keep reading. And it displeased Abraham. Verse 29.
And Abraham called to the woman to come out to him from the tent. And the woman came and stood opposite to Abraham, for Abraham was still mounted upon the camel. And Abraham said to Ishmael's wife, when thy husband Ishmael returneth home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistines came hither to seek thee, and thus his appearance and figure. And I did not ask him who he was. And seeing thou wast not here, he spoke unto me and said, when Ishmael thy husband returneth, tell him thus did this man say, when thou comest home, put away this nail of the tent which thou hast placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Abraham finished his instructions to the woman, and he returned and went off on the camel homeward.
So Abraham gave Ishmael first wife, or this woman, but his wife, a secret message. She doesn't even know. But she just think like, oh, just a tent, replace the nail, put it away. I mean, so okay. So now look what happens. Go, verse 33.
And after that Ishmael came from the chase, and he and his mother, and returned to the tent, and his wife spoke these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistines came to seek thee, and thus was his appearance and figure. I did not ask him who he was, and seeing thou was not at home, he said to me, when thy husband cometh home, tell him, thus saith the old man, put away the nail of the tent which thou hast placed here, and place another nail in its stead. And Ishmael heard the words of his wife, and he knew that it was his father, and that his wife did not honor him.
Did not honor him. Listen to this, guys. We thinking that you have to commit adultery or do something like that. I mean, Abraham says, cut her off just for not honoring him, honoring his son. He was displeased by the reproach that she put on her son's house. Put her away. But we sit here and want to stay with these women who are wicked. I get it, guys. We grew up in this culture. It doesn't take much. If a woman will not do what you ask her to do, put her away. Straight up. You give her 1, 2, just put her away. This is serious stuff. You're talking about Abraham, who Yah gave a covenant to. He made a covenant with Abraham. And they didn't sit here and say, oh, well, those my grandchildren. And, I stay with the woman for the kids, for the sake of stay with them because, we don't want to break up the home. I mean, God wouldn't want you to break up the home. He said, put that woman away and replace her with something better. Read.
And Ishmael afterward went to the land. Verse 36. And Ishmael understood his father's words that he had spoken to his wife. And Ishmael hearkened to the voice of his father. And Ishmael cast off that woman, and she went away.
Listen to this. He did not hesitate. Ishmael said, okay, I know what you dishonor my dad. These guys was not attached to women. Why? Because a woman was created for the man. We were not created for women. We put these women up on a pedestal. We put that vagina, that pussy, whatever you want to call it, on this pedestal, and we worship it. And the whole time they're supposed to be reverencing us. They were created for man. Man was not created for the woman. Look at it in 1 Corinthians 11. I can't make this thing up. We are to rule these women. Am I saying to abuse them? No, I'm not saying that. But we give these women too much. They were created for us. Can you imagine if I start asking the dog, hey, is it okay for me to go hang out with my buddies, with my brother? No, people look at me like I'm crazy. We should start looking at people crazy when they start, I got to check in with my wife. What the hell? You be a man, be an alpha. Be like what Yeshua was. He was the Alpha and the Omega. You do what you like. I hope it's within the commandments of Yah. But you have freedoms within that. And so, guys, I'm telling you, man, back in the days, it was like this. Just for cursing her husband out and dishonoring him. That was enough to put her away. And that's from Father Abraham. Straight up. Keep reading.
And Ishmael afterward went to the land of Canaan, And he took another wife, and he
took another wife? No, in Christianity, that's bad. Keep your pecker in your pants. You can't do that. That's a sin. You can't remarry. He put her away and got it. Anyway, he can have more than one anyway. But that's a whole nother topic there. But keep reading. Sorry.
And he took another wife, and he brought her to his tent, to the place where he then dwelt. And at the end of 3 years, Abraham said, I will go again and see Ishmael my son, for I have not seen him for a long time. You want me to read that whole part too?
Yeah, yeah.
And he rode up upon his camel and went to the wilderness, and he reached the tent of Ishmael about noon. And he asked after Ishmael, and his wife came out of the tent, and she said, He is not here, my lord, for he has gone to hunt in the field and feed the camels. And the woman said to Abraham, Turn in, my lord, into the tent, and eat a morsel of bread, for thy soul must be wearied on account of the journey. And Abraham said to her, I will not stop, for I am in haste to continue my journey, but give me a little water to drink, for I have thirst. And the woman hastened and ran. Hastened.
Go.
Into the tent, and she brought out water and bread to Abraham, which she placed before him, and she urged him to eat. And he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted, and he blessed his son Ishmael.
I can't believe it. I remember back in the days when I had guests come over, and I asked my woman at the time, my ex-wife, I said, hey, I have guests. Murmuring, complaining. Well, I got things to do. What are you talking about? I have guests. Go, haste. Go get food. Get water for my guest. And be my helpmeet. Represent. Complaining. What, I have to check with you? Aren't you not supposed to be ready for me? I had to make appointments with my ex-wife. Literally. Guys, I'm putting it out there. Because I want you to know that I understand the condition of how we can be, because I was that man. I was a simp. I was a master simp. Now I'm becoming a man. I'm not making those mistakes anymore. You ask my new Ishai, I won't put up with that shit anymore. I'm telling you guys, that's when your woman is murmuring, complaining, and because you tell her to do things to help you and do things about you, and she's murmuring about doing your business, there's a problem. You may have to remove her. That's what the people of old did. They wouldn't put up with this nonsense. Well, I got this going on. I'm supposed to hang out with my girlfriends. I got this stuff. This woman hasted. It is. I got the children. She didn't even use the sons and daughters as an excuse. I mean, she urged the man, let me take care of you. You have my master is not here. Let me take care of you. Keep reading. Verse 42.
He finished his meal, and he blessed the Lord. And he said to Ishmael's wife, When Ishmael cometh home, say these words to him. A very old man from the land of the Philistines came hither, and asked after thee, and thou was not here. And I brought him out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me, When Ishmael thy husband cometh home, say unto him, The nail of the tent which thou hast is very good, and do not put it away from the tent. And Abraham finished commanding the woman, and he rode off to his home to the land of the Philistines. And when Ishmael came to his tent, his wife went forth to meet him with joy and cheerful heart.
Cheerful heart. How would that feel? You come home and your wife is happy to see you. Yes, master. Yes, cheerful. But these wicked ass women, where have you been? I've been watching the children all day. Where have you been? Hanging out with the brothers, the saints. Hanging out with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And complaining because I got to be home all day, cooking and cleaning. That's what you're supposed to do. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? You got one woman cussing her the seeds, beating the children, and cussing out her husband in front of the guest. Not even mindful, like, man, not even mindful that who she represents. And you got this other one taking care of the guest, making sure husband, hey, happy to see him. Instead of complaining, you don't want to spend time with me. What about our time? I've been waiting all day, cooking and cleaning, slaving for you while you get to go have fun. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Look how they dealt with this stuff. Let me keep reading. And I can tell you right now, one of the reasons why my dad was put in an assisted home is because my ex-wife was saying that it's too much because it was taking too much time from her. And the church, literally, Christianity told me, put my dad in assisted living so I can focus on my relationship with my wife.
Focus on the thing.
So dishonor your father so you can make your wife happy. Ain't that about isn't that crazy? And then you got Pastor Dow says, bring your dad home. That's not how we handle our elders. That's your father. You honor him. I brought him back home. It's been the best thing that's happened to him. And now people are telling him, well, get Kabir to kick everybody out so that maybe his wife will come back. He says, that's crazy. I'm being treated better than I've ever been treated. Yeah. Want me to kick him out? Kick the straightway saints out so I can deal with a wicked ass wife? What's the benefit? There's no benefit. I waive all benefit. I deny service. Okay, let me calm down. I'm sneaking some stuff in there. Keep reading.
And she said to him, an old man came here from the land of the Philistines, and thus was his appearance. And he asked after thee, and thou was not here. So I brought out bread and water, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he spoke these words to me, when Ishmael thy husband cometh home, say to him, the nail of the tent which thou hast is very good. Do not put it away from the tent. And Ishmael knew that it was his father, and that his wife had honored him. And the Lord blessed Ishmael.
Glory, hallelujah. Guys, this is how our ancestors handled these situations. They didn't have a problem putting away a wicked ass woman who's rebellious. They didn't have all this. They were so emotionally attached. You have to be really in the moment. This woman had his seed. And when the father said, put her away, he put her away. You dishonor me and you dishonor my father. She dishonored the man, the patriarch. And then found him something better. That's what I did. I got me something better now.
Hallelujah.
So guys, I'm telling you, don't let these people be a snare. And I'm sharing all this stuff with you guys to let you know that that's what we got to. We got to cut anybody. It could be a wife. It could be sons, daughters. It could be brother. It could be sisters. It could be fathers. It could be mothers. It could be your own life, your own reputation. Cut it off. If it's going to keep you out of the kingdom, cut it off. Find out the thing that you fear to lose the most. Whatever that fear is, that's what's going to be the snare. That's going to be the thing. Some people are offended by Yah. Say, well, Yah, how come you can even be offended by? I can easily say, Yah, after all that I've done for you, you forced me to have to choose between you and my wife. Because of you, now I can't even be with my sons and daughter. You can be offended by Yah. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? So woe to them who, what did it say? Let me go back to it. Matthew 18, and then we'll wrap it. We'll take a break here. But let me read that one more time, unless you can catch it before I do.
What?
Matthew 18. Oh. Matthew 18:7. Let me see if I can find it here. And then, because I want to make sure I bring it back. Bring this thing back. So Matthew 18 says this. It says, woe unto the world because of offense, for it must needs to be that offense come. But woe to that man whom offense cometh. That's it, guys. Woe to them. And it says, if your hands cause you sin, cut it off. If your eyes cut it off. All right, we're gonna take a break here, guys. Thank you for staying with us, and then
if you guys have any questions,
if you have any questions,
submit
it now, and then we'll come back and then wrap it up. All right. All right. Are we back? Yep, I'm muted. Can you guys hear me?
All right. Here we go.
All right. Hey guys, I want to just say once again, I want to just use a disclaimer. The text or the instant messenger that I got from my supposedly eldest son, it could be from him or it could be from the thing. So I can't confirm that.
Even if he's the one who wrote it,
It's influence, yes. So we like to say evil communication corrupt good manners. Right. But here's another one from my second son. He said this, and I just want to show you guys, you have to understand, this is so foreign to me because this is not the type of relationship we had. I mean, it was literally a father and son type of relationship. But I think from all the years of my ex-wife dishonoring me and dishonoring my father too with him, complaining, with the murmuring, complaining. I believe it's put this condition in. But this is what my eldest son told me. He says, because I told him that, filter everything through the word of God and things of that nature. And he says, but you... He says that I fell away. He says, but you always told me that if you fall away, keep reading the word and obey God or Yah to you. That's what he said, something like that. And then I said, and then I basically told him, I said, you have no grounds to disrespect or dishonor me. All I've ever showed you is love. But that is true. I told him the statement is true. But who said I fell away? And this is his response. He says, everyone you knew. Are you there?
Okay.
Oh, he said, everyone you knew as brothers and sisters saw you fall away from the Lord. Guys, it's off the chain. Once again, no scripture, nothing to support if I really fell away from from Yah or anything like that. It's just automatically assumed. No scripture to say, Dad, because you worship an idol or the devil or anything like that. It's just you fell away. Everybody said you fell away. Did I fall down? What do I talk about? Everything you see about me is always about Yeshua HaMashiach. It's always about the Father. It's always about the commandments. That's all I talk about. My whole life is revolved around this stuff. I care more about this than I care about anything in life. And so, but once again, I don't know if that's from him, but I'm perceiving it's coming from their account. It could be mom really just controlling the account and giving these messages and finding ways to communicate with me. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, you have a question, Brother David?
Yeah, let me, I'm just trying to get this chat to pop up here because since we started a new...
it's not showing?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just not showing on the...
Okay.
On our program.
And I can see it on my end here, but I can't...
I just wanted to show up on the...
Sounds like Jezebel in her feelings. Yep. Oh, you're right about that. Jezebel in her feelings. All right. All right, guys. Hold on here. We're going to get down some questions here.
There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Looks like there's a couple questions here. One is coming from I think M4 Johnny says, Brother Kabir, what was your process in coming out from being a simp? I guess that's a good question.
What was the process? Well, the process was just pretty much I had a dream, and in that dream, Yah, through his loving kindness, put me to the test and made me had to choose between him and my wife at the time. And my wife did not want me to be keeping the Shabbat. And obviously, if you love him, Jesus says, if you love me, you'll keep my commandment. And you'll love me, you'll keep my commandment. So it was either don't keep the Shabbat to keep my wife, or keep the Shabbat and hate my wife. So I can't serve two masters. Exactly. And it revealed to me that you have to understand, I did not know I was a simp. I was deceived. I was beguiled. I didn't know. I thought I was doing things that please God. And now when I look back, in Christianity, everything that a man does is based off of the woman's opinion. The woman is the determining factor if you're worshiping God or not. But in reality, you're really not worshiping God. You're worshiping that woman. And in Christianity, they trick you or they deceive you into thinking that by making her happy is serving the Most High. But it's really a role reversal, because the woman is supposed to be trying to make the man's happy to show her love to the Most High, and the man is to focus on keeping the commandments, ruling his house well, and things of that nature. And so So that's how I just going through that process, choosing. It was very hard. And I thank y'all for Pastor Dow. Pastor Dow gave me some instructions, and he was there to guide me through this crazy dark path that place I was in. And I was able to come out, and I'm better than I was yesterday.
Hallelujah.
Great question.
See, people are asking about your court stuff and where they can get the information, but you can
guys, I'm gonna have to hold off on that because I don't want to put too much out there to hurt my case, and so I gotta be wise.
Something and let them know that this is this is heavy information where you have to really
you can't just go in there by the beat. You guys, you really have to do your homework. But I promise you guys, I am documenting this stuff. I may not be making it public like I normally would like to. Trust me, I would love to just show it to you in real time. I will talk about it in and out, but I don't have an attorney. But usually, when people are celebrities, they ask them questions. He says, I've been advised not to say anything at this time while the case is still in process. So I am in the same situation where I got to be careful because they are watching. You guys are not the only one. They are watching to see what my moves are. And so it's like, it's like playing poker or playing a game. Right. You don't want to show your hands. So just bear with me. Keep me in prayers. I will always still let you guys know to keep me in prayer. And I'll keep you abreast from that fact. But I promise you, when this is all over, this is not just meant for me. And even if I end up losing, it's okay. At least I learned something. Mm-hmm. But really, I'm doing this because, hey, I don't want to just go through this for the sake of doing it. I was asking, as I was going through it, I said, how come I didn't know this before? Because it didn't pertain to me. Why would anybody to study the things I'm studying? It would make no sense to do it if nothing was happening to you.
Exactly.
I had to go through it to want to learn this information. But if I showed you this information, and you don't know, it will be like...
Well, you have a reason to apply it. If you didn't have a reason to apply it,
you just got information. You just got information, but you have no way to apply it. So I have actually a reason to apply it. So really what I'm gaining from this stuff is the knowledge that I'm going to get. So even if I don't, work out the way... But I've accomplished enough success to tell you that what I'm learning and what I'm doing is working, and I can help other people not to make the same mistake I made for sure. Straight up, for sure. And I can tell you this right now. Do not sign any papers. Do not sign. Do not accept. Just that for sure. I can tell you off the bat. Stop signing.
If you've signed stuff, don't
sign.
If
you don't agree, then don't sign it and say you don't agree. Use your mouth. You can't just take it and not say anything because it will be assumed. Your silence, if you look at Numbers 30, If they say if a man hears a woman say something and he says nothing, then her vow stands. But if he says I forbid it, then that vow is no longer accepted. So it's voided. So you have to speak. You can't just say, well, I ignored it. You have to respond. What is it? Or if you silence, it's assumed you accept it. So if you don't accept it, you need to put them on notice and say, I do not accept this. Yep. I reject it. I deny this service. I deny this affairs. Deny it. Speak. Yeah.
That's what Steve said it well right there. He said, stop consenting. Yes.
Stop consenting. You got to tell them, I do not consent. I deny it. I reject it. I'm not for it. Never will. Never have been. Just, I hope you guys are okay. I'm trying to show you guys all the way to say no, okay? But you got to speak.
You do not plead the fifth.
Do not, you speak up on this one if you don't agree. Now, if you agree, then sign it. I mean, it's your. Do as you wish. If you want to do it,
a man doesn't plead.
Exactly. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. But if you don't, then say no.
Exactly.
An attorney will not help you. But anyway, keep going.
It doesn't seem like there's any more questions. I guess I got a question for you, Brother Kabir. Now, in the beginning of the show, we talked about just being angry, right? And you said that you're not angry and all that. So,
I mean, what do you think? You live with me. I mean,
I'm just saying, yeah. So my question is this. A brother who might be in a similar situation, if he finds himself in being angry, is it wrong to be angry?
It's not wrong to be angry. It's not wrong to be angry. Matter of fact, in the beginning, I was angry. But now that time has
because
passed.
I remember you had people because, Kabir, you sound angry. Remember?
Yeah.
And what would you say? Am I angry?
But I'm not sinning. Exactly. So the Bible says sin. He says.
I just want you to address that just because you might find brothers who are in the early stages of this.
You guys in the early stages, I was
condemn them.
I was angry, guys. Don't get me wrong. I was hurt. I felt it. I don't think it ever got to the point of being like so bitter, where But it was just so there's nothing wrong. Just don't sin in your anger. Forgive. And when you forgive, it really for you more than it is for the person who's causing the offense.
Right, and I could say that. Do not let your anger lead you to an offense.
Exactly.
Where you become bitter. And that's where you let your anger become sin.
Yep.
At that point,
yeah.
Right?
So try to stick to the commandment. Will keep you safe. So do it all. Was I angry? Yes, I was angry. Was I upset?
There's
yes.
a time for everything. There's time to be happy.
Look at Yah. Guys, look at Yah gets angry.
But
and
he doesn't stay angry.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nothing wrong with getting angry. It's just that I really just generally don't have any bitterness. I don't sit here and plan on how can I hurt this woman. If anything, everything I'm doing is trying to protect myself, my community, because I'm being attacked. I'm the one I'm on the attack. And so I'm just trying to flip it and go on the offense and use the system for my benefit, But I mean, she's sitting here trying to figure out how to, what they say, take him to the cleaners. Take that man to the cleaner. I guess I'm learning what that means now from. I mean, now thank God that I made enough money probably, and I'm a part of Straightway Truth's ministry that I'm able to take a hit like this and still be able to keep my head above water.
Well, you were wise with your money because there's people who made a lot of money,
and that's true,
and that's very typical, and they lose everything at the end.
And guys, a lot of things too that I can tell you that helped me. I kind of from the Joseph, even from I have a company called Joseph Financial Storehouse. That's the name of my financial firm. But one thing that I was good at was I was good with my finance. And so there's a lot of people that do make a lot of money. So it's not about making a lot of money. It's really about what you do make. And I did make a lot of money, but I was good with it. And so when this thing happened, I was able to stay afloat and be able to okay. But a lot of time people are so head over ear in debt to their eyeballs. They got 60% of debt. And when the thing comes,
they
get out there, and you get out leveraged. I mean, I think when I went to this divorce, I only had 10% out of my whole net worth. I had 10% debt, meaning to my net worth. So it wasn't much. And then when she took half, guess what? It took me from 10% to 20%. Do you know how many people was at 30%? So can you imagine if you take half, you go from 30 to 60. You see the difference? So guys, you have to stand the compound interest on that stuff. So if you have 40% of your whole net worth is debt, and then all of a sudden you go through a divorce, guess what? 40% turns into 80%. Because most of the time the men will have to take on all the debt, not the woman. He will end up getting the whole thing. So that's why a lot of men end up being in apartments. That's why a lot of men end up being sleeping in their cars or being broke because they got out leveraged. So if I'm at 10% with all the money I made, I was only at 10%. Now I'm at 20%. But guess what? You work at the bank. Most time, the best you want to be at around 30%, right?
Yeah, at the most. We wouldn't approve anybody's loan if it was above 30%.
Above
debt to income.
So I still have a 10% gap, and I'm just talking about the financial. I still got a 10% gap even with the divorce. But most men, no matter how much money you make, 50%. If you're 50% in the water, debt to ratio they call it, and then you get a divorce, guess what? That's 100%. You're done. So you people that are going through this stuff, pay off your debt. That debt is the one that kicks your ass. You don't want to get out leverage. And so, just talking about this stuff, I just discovered something. So it's really, that's what ends up happening, that the debt is, so it's not only divorce, but it's also, that's why a lot of people end up filing for bankruptcy too.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If we consider the reason why the debt was there in the beginning, it was probably because it was to please the woman in the first place. To make sure, let's get a car, let's get a new house.
Yeah. Now when most cases, people get debt because they're trying to get a bigger house or car or something like that. Yeah. And the only reason why, because I'm really not a debt guy. I use debt differently, and this is, guys, I'm not advising anybody. But I used it for something totally different, and it's not the way most people use debt. But the reason why, because they're using it to get stuff that they shouldn't be getting in the first place. So anyway, But good question. But that's a good question. Any more question from that? Oh, somebody has a question right here. Luke. Luke says, "What do you do? Can I see it? What do you do if you and your wife sign papers, then come into faith? How do you resolve that and break the covenant with the state?" Okay, guys. Here's what
I think what he's saying is,
I know he's saying marriage license.
Me and Sister Evelyn, before the faith, we had a marriage license. Now we're in the faith, and we're both in agreement.
Okay, let me raise this. What do you do if you and your wife sign papers, then come into the faith, and how do you resolve or break the covenant with the state? Try to. I'll say dissolve that. You can easily dissolve that by going to the system and say, we would like to dissolve our marriage through the state. Just dissolve it. But really, guys, here's the real crux of it. That thing that you have with the state is really not real until you both agree. So, but just to play it safe, it's better to just get that dissolved. Right. I would do that, knowing I know.
Yeah, get it dissolved, and then you can have a contract within you.
And then you guys have a contract that you both have free consent,
right?
And that will be enforceable if
without involving the state.
Without involving the state.
You don't need a third party.
You don't need. You can use I'll say use Straightway. I don't know if Luke is a part of Straightway. Is he part of Straightway? I don't know, but whatever your church is,
someone who can.
But or arbitration. You can use arbitration. Right. Private.
You can
private.
Notify. You can
notify.
Notary.
Exactly.
If you really wanted to.
So, but that's a good question.
That's the same thing that you've been saying since the beginning. Don't get a marriage license.
Don't get a marriage license. That's the first. But if you already have,
talk about it.
Yeah, but if you already have it, there is a way around it, and that's the stuff that Let me just.
But they can simply dissolve it.
Yeah, dissolve it. That's what I'll say. I'll say dissolve it. That's what I'll do. I'll take that. If you and your wife want to go and dissolve it, just go ahead and dissolve it. That's the best thing you do. Mm-hmm. And now you don't have to worry about that being a stumbling block in the future for the woman.
But then get another contract with free consent that you can write out.
And you don't even have to write it out, but you can do that just to play it safe. So anyway,
it's better. For them who don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anything? I'm in contact with Straightway. Okay, good. You in contact? Then Michigan. Okay.
And then talk to Brother Juan out there.
Yep.
He's the head of the assembly out there, and run this by him.
But what I'm saying about if you're part of Straightway, at least I can tell you from what I've seen, Straightway has a way to adjudicate these matters. They do I'm talking about off the chain. I've seen judgment done. I've been a part of judgment, and it's off the chain. If anything ever happens to me and Bree or any of my brothers or whatever, I know that it will be handled. Even if it means that it doesn't matter if I'm KGB. If I'm wrong, I will be judged wrong, and I know mercy will follow that judgment as well. So Straightway, I've never been a part of any ministry in my life that adjudicate matters so biblically, not only just bring judgment, but also bring along the mercy. And I've seen it with my own naked eyes, not once, but several times. So I'm just letting you guys know that right now, if you're part of Straightway, you are in a great place to be able to resolve any conflict that two parties may be having. I don't care if it's with a husband, wife, brother or sister. It will be adjudicated and it will be handled biblically. And I don't care who you are.
Exactly. Well,
got to check the state law. Some, like New York, does not allow dissolve. Yes. But guys, at the end of the day, don't consent, don't sign, do not sign any papers. Even if you have a marriage license, I just want to let you know, it really comes down to you guys signing things away. So if you're in that situation, if you know me, call me. Call Straightway. Get a hold of me, and I can tell you, because the first thing is people are going to tell you, go get an attorney. That's the worst thing you can do if you're the person who's supposedly supposed to be a respondent or a defendant. The worst thing you can do is get an attorney. Call me, and I can... I don't give any legal advice. I'm telling you that right now. I do not give legal advice. I don't even speak that language. What I will give you is common sense. So call me, and I'll direct you to the right person who can help you in that situation.
Here's one more question here.
All right.
So what words of wisdom do you have for single men that find it hard to contain, I'm guessing contain, contain themselves, but aren't betrothed yet or yet married?
Well, I would say there's things you can do. Obviously, I mean, find a good thing, but just email me at the KGB live show, because I don't know, the situation is very different for.
It's Brother Lamar.
Huh?
It's Brother Lamar.
Okay. Oh, Brother Lamar. Okay. Just give me, just email me at the KGB Live Show at gmail.com right here, the KGB Live Show at gmail.com, and I can handle that on a personal thing. But show discipline, show self-discipline, but there's other things. Just be patient. And and just be patient. Pray, pray that that things will get set up. But one thing you can do is start getting your own self right. Start disciplining yourself in the Word of Yah. Showing some self-discipline. Yeah, focus on Yah.
Time to focus on Yah. Really just build that relationship
exactly
with your master.
Yep, 2 years, man. I had to go out with 2 years. And can you imagine being with a woman for 16 years, having access to it, and all of a sudden, boom, gone. Just cold turkey. Didn't even know. And the last time I saw her was the last day she left that house was the last time I did it. Literally. And she said it'll freeze, hell will freeze over before I get another one. That's what she told me. That's how arrogant she was, that I'm the only one that can give you that. And look at Yah replaced her with someone better. And so
quadruple B.
I got the quadruple B. I used to call it the triple B. The quadruple B, black, beautiful, and better. And her name is Bree. So that's how you get the quadruple B. Well, guys, I mean, if that looks like it's in, let me see. Did you see my question? Okay. All right, guys. Well, hey. We got Jenny. Hello, Jenny.
Hell is low.
I don't know. Is it? I know hell is low. That is true. I'm learning that one. Hello, hell is low. You are correct, Jenny. Hell is very low. But I always like seeing Jenny there. One of these days I'm going to run into her. Jenny, where are you located at? I'm just curious. Anyway, not that I want to talk to you like that. You're just interesting. Anyway, Brother Kabir, can you please explain a bill of divorce in the context of what Paul said when he said, if the unbeliever departs? Yeah, if the unbeliever depart, I mean, if she depart, let him go. As a man, it really doesn't affect the man as much. You don't have to give a woman a bill of divorce. Like, for example, I never gave my ex-wife a bill of divorce. So, biblically speaking, New York, okay, thank you, Jenny. But biblically speaking, my ex-wife is still bound to me. If you look at Romans chapter 7, I believe. Is it 7 or 8? Romans, the woman is bound to the man until he dies. So if my ex-wife was to go lay with another man, she will be literally practicing adultery, and the man that she sleeps with will also be committing adultery. So it doesn't really affect the man as much. A bill of divorce is more for the woman than it is for the man, because the woman, when she gets that bill of divorce, now she's free to be with another man, and then it also allows the other man to know, hey, I see you have sons and daughters here. I need to know, do you have a bill of divorce? So it lets him know that it's okay to approach this woman and have sexual relations with this woman, because but if he's having sex with this woman knowing that she has sons and daughters and don't have a bill of divorce, then he's now committing adultery. And so it's really to protect it's really more for the woman. Now, me as a man, I'm able to remarry, because as a man, I can have more than one wife anyway.
Well, it's not remarry.
Well, marriage. Yes, exactly. Let me change my. See, I got that mindset, but I can go marry multiple times, because as a man, I'm not bound to the woman. The woman is bound to the man, but the man is not bound to the woman. Mm-hmm. He can go and plant his seed and be fruitful, multiply. And so, but the bill of divorce is more for the woman. So in my case, she left. So if you look at 1 Corinthians 7, which is a good question, but if you go to 1 Corinthians 7, and it's really based off of Deuteronomy, you look at Deuteronomy 24, it talks about the same thing. But if you go to 1 Corinthians 7, this is what it says. It says that if the woman leaves, in verse 10, it says, and to marry I command ye, not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart. Listen to this. Let not the wife depart from her husband. There's going to be two commands. It's a double standard. It's not the same for the man. One is for the woman, one's for the man. Let the wife depart. Let not the wife depart from her husband. But if she departs, like mine did, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. So in this situation, my ex-wife will have to come back to me and be reconciled, because she's the one that left. And let not the husband put away his wife. So I never had to put her away. In this case, she left. So I never had to put her away. And now if you do put away a wife, the Bible tells us to give her a bill of divorce. Don't just put her away. That's treacherous. If you don't want to be with her anymore, give her a bill of divorce and move on. But in my case, I didn't even have to do that, because she left. She made my job very easy. And He says, but to the rest I speak, not I. And then he goes on and said, okay, anyway. But that I just wanted to explain that to you. So the bill of divorce is more for the woman so that she's not committing adultery. Does that make sense? Did that make sense, Brother David?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
Any more questions?
How do you get a bill of divorce if your husband, who was not in the faith, left abruptly? Okay, that's a good question from a woman's perspective. Okay, so now if he was not in the faith, and how do you get a bill of divorce? Well, you can ask him, but if he doesn't and he's not in the faith, it does say that. And if you go to the same thing in chapter 7, and I think it's in verse 15, it says, but if the unbelieving, guys, it's all right here. That's why I love this word. I love it. There's instructions on how to respond. So great question, Shaya. I know this is Brother Juan's mom, right? Okay, Brother Ryan, sorry. But it says, but if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. This is verse 15. A brother or a sister, right, is not under bondage in such case, but God had called us to peace. So if he left and he hasn't given you a bill of divorce and he's abandoned you, you are free. You are no longer under bondage. So now my ex-wife can play that card and say, well, he left. Well, I'm still here. I never left. I've never left. Well, you guys are all here to judge what I said. I've never put her away. She left. If anything, I tried to tell her to come back home. She left. I got enough evidence to show that she's left, but most importantly, God knows she left. And so, but in your case, if your husband genuinely has abandoned you and has left you and he's an unbeliever, you are no longer under bondage. You're free. That's what it says right here. That's what Paul says. But if the unbelieving departs, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such case, but God had called us to peace. That's a great question, sister. I hope that helps. Bless you, brother. Okay. And is there another question? The Most High words is amazing. I know it is amazing, Luke. So, guys, if there's not any, is there any more questions? All right. Well, guys, once again, it was another successful KGB live show. I thank the Most High for it. I thank you guys for being faithful, showing up. And I guess we're going to conclude. Is there any closing things before I get my closing
announcements? I guess you guys know the drill. So we're live every single Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And thank you guys for being patient as well, because I know we've been MIA for a while since the feast and all that's been happening. And now we're getting prepared for the event as well. So, but anyway, you guys know. So what's coming up next? Today's Monday. So
I want to answer this question. Can I answer this question? Hold on, guys. Just Jenny, I really appreciate it because finally you asked a question outside of the football. But Jenny says, I have a question for you. Do you think you can take the Bible word for word today? Yes, you can. You can take the Bible for word. Let me tell you why, Jenny. Now, Jenny, if you're so kind or so wise, you will read the Bible, but go to 1 Timothy. It's 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. It says this, all scripture, this is what it says, all scripture is given by the inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. Listen to this, Jenny. Listen, I love the word. You got to love the word. Verse 17, that the man of God may be perfectly and thoroughly furnished unto some good works. Does it say some? All good works. So yes, Jenny, you can take the word of God, word by word or word for word today. It even says go back to the old path. We're going back to the old path. And I just wanted to answer that question. That's a beautiful question. And I hope that stimulated some thought. So go back, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. That's what you asked, and that's the answer. All right, sorry. Finish up here. I just,
Yes, sir.
Well,
usually she's asking an NFL question.
I had to take it back. Jenny, she's been waiting for me to talk about football, and now she asked a biblical question. I had to take that one. That was one of those things. That was like I'm gonna take this here. Boop. So anyway.
Exactly. Hallelujah. Well, yes. So I guess next thing that's coming up is Sister to Sister. So Thursdays we have not us, but Straightway Tennessee has a Sister to Sisters broadcast with Sister Ashley and Sister Jennifer on Blog Talk Radio, and I believe they've been doing a lot more on the YouTube Live too. So if you guys go and follow Straightway Help Meets, you'll be able to get a lot of the shows on there. Also, 6 Day Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Pastor Doll usually does a Blog Talk Radio show where you can call in and ask him questions. And last week we didn't have one; he was out of town. And Yah willing, if Yah wills it, he will be back in that seat.
Yep.
Talking to the flock. But and then also there's a Shabbat service every Saturday, 7th day, at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time at straightway.com/live. You guys can check out the live service every Saturday at 11 a.m. You guys can check it out on YouTube too, at Straightway Live on YouTube. So youtube.com/Straightway Live. You can catch the live Shabbat services on there. And then obviously every Sunday there's a scriptures teaching by one of the elders or and deacon on Blog Talk Radio as well. So that's first day Sunday. And that's pretty much it. We'll be back next week, Monday, right?
All right, we'll be back next week. I don't know if you guys noticed my cup here. It's official. The KGB Live show. Wow. Sometimes there's nothing in here. I'm just drinking. No, there's something in here. But anyway, guys. Guys, I just want to encourage you guys. What I was going to say here.
Closing words. Closing words.
Yeah, closing words, guys. So, guys, just want to encourage you guys. Just remember to be faithful in the little things. I love you guys. And I will be in Atlanta I think in 2 weeks. We're going to be in Atlanta speaking there at a conference, and then also we have the gathering of the saints here at Straightway Praise Land. And how many days here? In the next 10 days. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. But until then, remember, be faithful in the little things. I love you guys, and shalom, shalom.
It's KGB, live show. We gon' set it right, live show. We only tell the truth, live show. We gon' set it right, live show. The truth straight way,
straight from the scripture,
straight way.
to you straight, no chaser.
The truth straight way,
Straight from the scripture,
straight way.
to you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way. For this truth, they really hate me. I hit them like a safety. On my way to the mountaintop, ain't no way they gon' stop me. When you live this life, you only get one shot. Time is running out, but you keep looking at the clock. But for me and my household, we're gonna be doers of the word. It's KGB, live show. We gon' set it right, live show. We only tell the truth, live show. We gon' set it right, live show. The true straight way,
Straight from the scripture,
straight way.
to you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way,
Straight from the scripture,
straight way.
to you straight, no chaser.
The true straight way.